My name is Dibre. I'm the president and the owner of Rana Management, a New Jersey company that owns Acura and Honda stores in the New York, New Jersey market. So we have Acura of Bayshore on Long Island, Acura of Wappingers Falls in Dutchess County, New York. I have Acura Ramsey in Bergen County, New Jersey, and also Honda of Hackettstown here in Warren County, New Jersey. I've been an Acura Honda dealer for about 15 years now. Started out in the auto business 37 years ago, and I had a bunch of other brands, consolidated everything back in 2015, and love the Honda and Acura brands. Yeah, Experian Automotive, I've been a customer for probably about a decade now. Started out when it was just small offerings at the time, and we've expanded on it over the years as Experian has gotten better with a lot of their information, a lot of their data, and a lot of their offerings. I would say Experian Automotive is an essential and integral part of our business. It provides a lot of great information that helps us run the marketing and the day-to-day operations. We're using consumer attributes and behavioral insights to target specific consumers. We actually have it segmented. We try to figure out best way to capitalize on our marketplace while also keeping our costs, marketing costs down. So we have a PMA approach, which is the primary market, selling market for the manufacturers, and then we have a radius approach. In that, what we do is we use that for sales and for service. On the sales end of it, we use Experian Automotive for the off-lease, in-equity, off-loan, targeted consumer lists. On the service end of it, we also use that with the year, make, and model information to target what we call not sold, not serviced consumers, and also sold, not serviced type of consumers. So the not sold, not serviced, those could be coming in from a lot of the independents and other manufacturers or other brands, sold as used vehicles. These are cars that we don't know about. They're customers in the marketplace. We want to bring them into the dealership, and we want to keep them, ultimately keep them in the brand. That end of it has worked out great for us. We put a lot of time and money and energy into that because, again, the return on invested capital there is great. On the focus on the sales end of it, again, with the off-lease, where New York, New Jersey is one of the highest areas for leasing. So that's a very critical, very important piece of our marketing strategy. It not only helps us retain consumers, but it also helps us conquest and earn new customers. So on the service end of it and on the conquesting new customers, Experian Automotive's information has been very crucial and very important to us, because the way we're applying it is every manufacturer has a barometer, a gauge in terms of what they call units in operation, expected units in operation, expected unit in operation for service, right? And that's usually an average, it's a calculation. The 4 stores actually outperform. And the reason why is we constantly try to market, we do it quarterly, to try to earn new customers in the marketplace. So there's a factor where you could have X amount of customers, you're never going to get all of them. The offset would be if you could get newer ones, right? And that would be added into the calculation. And that's what sounds complicated in the math of it, me talking about it, but when you start looking at it and narrowing it down, most dealers will easily understand it, is when you're earning customers that never purchased and never serviced in the dealership, it offsets anything that you might have lost in the past. It's working out great. Again, like I said, the 4 stores actually outperformed the district and the zones in terms of on that end of it, from the service end of it. So we've had a great success with that, and again, thanks to Experian Automotive's insight and information, helps us specifically target customers with specific offers based on based on the year, make, and model of the vehicle that they're driving. Yeah, on the sales end of it, recently, what we did is we try to figure out the best way to capitalize on a small segment. So Honda Ridgeline is not a key or core vehicle for Honda, right? It's a small segment, but we're in a market where there's more demand for trucks than probably most other places, right? So we use Experian Automotive to capture customers that are coming off lease over the next 12 months. Also, people that are off loan or in equity that are driving pickup trucks within a certain year range, also that would consider a Honda, something similar to what a Honda Ridgeline would be. We did launch that campaign back in, I think it was June, July, and August, and we've had a very great success with it. As a matter of fact, one of the months, this store was the top leader in sales of Ridgeline in its district, partially or greatly because of the specific and targeted marketing that we did. And not only did we have a huge return on invested capital, the spend was minimal. We also got the trades that we wanted. We got a variety of different models, makes and models, which helped us conquest in that segment. So it worked out pretty well. So on the trade side, and again, this particular piece is market driven, right? So it all depends on which markets you're in. So the Honda store is in more of a rural area where people tend to own vehicles for a lot longer terms. They hold on to their cars. So you're going to get the older type of trades. But I have another market on Long Island where it's about 70% leasing. And that helps us, using Experian Automotive, the off-lease lists, it helps us capture a lot of late model trades and conquest. So, and conquest other brands. So again, it all depends on, it's all market driven, and that affects what type of trades, how old are the trades, and what models you usually get. Again, it all depends on which markets you're in. So for the Honda store, we do capture a lot of late model stuff that's coming off lease. That's part of the conquesting that we do. We have much greater success with it over on the Long Island end of it, in Long Island, because of, again, a lot more off leases than there is in northern New Jersey. So we tailor all of the stuff based on what the consumer, what the area looks like. And that also is mapped out through Experian Automotive. So yeah, I've been using Experian Automotive for over 10 years now, and have all different type of products that they offer. So it's a little hard for me to explain how it differentiates, because again, I'm a loyal customer that doesn't use any other products anymore. And the reason why I stayed with Experian Automotive and subscribed to most of their offerings is, one, I like the way that they treat their customers. I've had the same account rep for about 7 years now. I've had 2 account reps over the last 10 years. One went on to move up in the corporate world at the same company. My current account rep has been my account rep for the last 7 years. You know, they talk about the right relationship is everything. You know, experience with a lot of vendors, the biggest frustration is usually the rollover. You talk to someone 6 months later, they got somebody else, and you're starting all over. Some do know what they're doing, most they don't. In this particular case, I had a great relationship with the people I deal with, It's the same people for a long time. That stability is a great plus for us. It also builds that relationship where they understand what you're looking for, so they're always constantly helping you with new information, old information, trying to show you what you missed, what you're missing, what you need to improve on. We have our monthly calls, very informative. They've also introduced other products, even though it wasn't part of the same offering, but gotten to learn about other products with Experian that also were very beneficial and great to our business, like the data hygiene, which I had never even heard of in the past. Now we use it religiously, which helps us with the service drive and updated recalls, monthly updated recalls. That's a great plus too. That's a huge benefit to our company product. Again, stability. I've had the same performance manager for years. Very knowledgeable, very helpful. We have our monthly calls. We look at strategies. We look at audiences, try to figure out best approaches, what's happening in the marketplace. Also, if there's any other products so that will complement what we currently have, that would also help improve marketing, whether it's for service or for sales. So yeah, the performance manager is very key to the success of the process. And not only that, it's also, right, relationship is everything. Having that stability, having the same person that you've dealt with over the past 5 or 7 years, still in that position where, you know, you could have direct conversations. That stability is very key. You know, like I said, in previous, in past experiences, or many dealers' experiences, is there's a lot of rollover on a lot of turnover in terms of third-party vendors, and that is a pain point to dealers. Starting over, trying to figure out what benefit that person brings to the table. A lot of times, they learn the hard way that they're learning as they go. With Experian Automotive, I love the stability. The fact that I could talk to the same person, I still talk to the person that I dealt with 10 years ago. They're still in the company, with the company, moved up the ladder, have conversations with them. So that consistency and stability is also key. So data hygiene, I would describe it as one of the most important products out there in the marketplace. Not just for Experian Automotive, but I'm talking about in general. For dealers, it would be key because, so the way it works is you could upload 10,000 VIN numbers, just the VIN numbers, and what they do is they go through the process of verifying first if the vehicle's still registered, last time it was registered, and any outstanding recalls that are on that vehicle. So while most dealers have that through their manufacturer, the manufacturer doesn't report when a vehicle has been totaled, salvaged, or no longer is in the marketplace. So that's wasted dollars, ad dollars. With Experian Automotive, we could pinpoint if the vehicle is still operational, in service, or not. It also identifies all available recalls. So it could be a vehicle VIN number where the customer is in the database, but is not in the manufacturer's recall database, just because they might have been there once and then went somewhere else. Experian Automotive identifies that customer. It's as a customer that still belongs to the dealership and gives you the report of anything outstanding on that vehicle. So it helped us not only retain, but also regain previous customers, people that we haven't seen or heard from in years. Everybody loves free. Recall is an essential thing. It costs them nothing, so we always target these customers, trying to get them back in and get their vehicles repaired. So it's worked phenomenally. So yes, the product auto recall verification is an essential tool that I believe is a must for any dealer. That particular product has helped us dramatically in recapturing lost customers, and also staying in communication with current customers and updating them whenever there's outstanding recalls on their vehicles. We also like the part of that product also tells you if the vehicle is current and is still registered, or if it's no longer in operation. That's a very, very valuable information because it helps you determine which customers you have to target, and not only that, it also helps you reduce expenses and costs on customers that are no longer in those vehicles. Yeah, so on the loyalty part on a customer base, that's pretty easy. Integrates with the CRM tool, and on a weekly basis, you usually get a report that would show you customers that are coming off lease, your customers that are coming off lease, coming off loan. And the one that I really like about that report is customers that got into an accident, had a previous, there was a previous event where they got into an accident or had their vehicles totaled. So that helps us to reach out to that customer, make sure that they're okay, and also see if they're in the market to get another vehicle. How has Auto Audiences helped us better identify and connect with our ideal customers? That's simple. Before we were guessing, now we are acting on knowledge. Auto Audiences provides pre-built, high-quality segments like off-lease, off-loan, in equity for specific models. That instantly defines our ideal customers at the very moment. We could tailor our message to these custom audiences directly, making sure our offers land right in front of the consumers who are statistically most likely to buy. So summarizing it, it's more of you could target make model by make model, and you could target the off-lease customers, owners, equity customers. You could custom build it to suit your preference. Like most other dealers in the past, we used to use more of a shotgun approach, right? You just try to figure out what audiences you want to target. A lot of it was based on third-party guessing games. Today, we use specific and targeted campaigns. So we build a campaign based on what it is that we want to offer, and we specifically target off-lease, off-loan, equity customers. And we've had great success with that. That is actually key. So yeah, we went from a shotgun approach, just here's an ad budget, try to see what we could grab with it, to more of a precise approach where we look at specific information and try to tailor our campaigns to target in-market customers that drive similar vehicles to Honda or Acura products. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're always going to have about a 25 to 30% pickup. I mean, these are customers that are in the marketplace that you did not know about. You specifically targeted them. The more of a pool that you have, the better the responses are. And we find it very successful in the service drive. That usually has a much higher response rate and return on invested capital. You're targeting customers in the marketplace that drive a product that you repair, that haven't been to your facility, and then from there you build onto that relationship down the road. That service customer is going to be in the marketplace for another car, and they've already familiar with the dealership and your services, and your people. The single biggest difference Experian Automotive's auto audiences have made is the shift from reactive to proactive marketing. It allows us to initiate a conversation with a potential buyer based on a predictable vehicle life cycle, like an expiring lease, before they even start searching online. So on that end of it, it's been very successful. Again, it's the off-lease, off-loan, equity segments. So there's really nothing else left out there other than those. So if you could focus on those three areas, which Experian Automotive has superior knowledge of, it's a key to successful selling. Yeah, we use also AutoCheck. That product is essential, at least to us, because it has two key categories that others don't have, where you have a scoring card. So it scores the vehicle based on its previous history and records. It also shows information that you normally don't get from other providers, like a announcement at an auction, a detrimental announcement at an auction, like a structural damage or flood damage. So yeah, we do also use AutoCheck in the sales department. So we do use it. We use it for acquisitions more than anything, because again, it helps protects the dealership from information that may not be available through other vendors. Again, like I said, with the most importantly is auction announcements. So you get more detailed information with the AutoCheck when it comes to auction announcement. So if there's a structural damage history or announcement, or if there's a flood or any detrimental announcements, AutoCheck does report that. Most others don't. Experian Automotive has been a great add-on and a plus, a great partnership. Those particular products have the highest return on invested capital as far as I'm concerned, because again, it's targeted, it's specific, it works on both ends. It's on the service market, service end of it, and it's on the sales end of it. It helps us capture customers that were never in the brand. Helps us retain current customers. It helps us see when there's a detrimental event, whether if the vehicle is totaled, salvaged, if there's an accident, so we can contact the customer and see what their next steps are.